So I will be differentiating with you the, the NCBST, or the National Competency Based Teaching Standards, and the PPST, which means Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. So let's start with NCBST. NCBST has a single framework, and it is an integrated theoretical framework. So this is a framework that defines the different dimensions of effective teaching. And NCBST is more on how effective you are. How can you be an effective teacher? Well, in PPST aims to set out clear expectations of teachers along with well-defined career stages of professional development. And PPST is also founded in teaching philosophies of learner-centered, lifelong learning, and inclusiveness, among others. So the difference between NCBTS, and PPST is that NCBTS matters on an effective teacher, of how can you be an effective teacher, or how effective you are. While in PPST, or the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, your students is now the one who judges you of how effective you are as their teacher. It is based on the RPMS, if I am right, the RPMS, where the scores of your students matters the most, because this Philippine Professional Standards for Teaching matters on your learners. That's all.
Content knowledge and pedagogy is one of the 7 domains of the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers. So, the professional learning of teachers is an ongoing process of knowledge building and skill development in effective teaching practice. Its pursuit of equity in education, the Intercultural Development Research Association continually provides many professional learning opportunities to teachers of diverse student populations. These represent an important part of IDRA efforts to increase teaching quality and equity inside today's classrooms. Teacher is one of the key aspects of students' achievement. Teachers should master content material taught, how to teach it, and can interpret the students' thinking so that students easily understand the subject matter. In this research was qualitative research that aimed or rather at describing profile of PCKs, teachers in mathematics on limit algebraic functions in terms of the differences of teaching experience, pedagogical content knowledge, and understanding of teachers is defined as involving the relationship between knowledge of teaching materials, how to transfer subject, and how to deliver it properly. So this domain needs to be
Good morning, everyone. I will discuss about the challenges of the teachers in educating the world on Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers, or PPST, under the domain 2, which is learning environment. But first, what is learning environment? Learning environment is highlights the role of teachers to provide learning environments that are safe, secure, fair, and supportive in order to promote learner responsibility and achievements. This domain centers on creating an environment that is learning focused and in which teachers efficiently manage learner behavior in a physical and virtual space. It highlights the need for teachers to utilize a range of resources and provide intellectually challenging and stimulating activities to encourage constructive classroom interactions geared towards the attainment of high standards of learning. So this domain consists of 6 strands. The first one is learner safety and security. The second one is fair learning environment. The third, management of classroom structure and activities. The fourth one is support for learner participation. The fifth one is promotion of purposive learning, and the last one is management of learner behavior. But I will discuss the first three, and the rest is will be discussed by my partner Ronald. So the first one is learner safety and security. School safety is important to protect the student and staff in school abuse or any other sort of violence. A safe a safe learning environment ensures an overall development of a child. Children who taught in a safe environment are less likely to engage in risky behavior. So the second one is fair learning environment. I believe that the most important aspect in safe and positive learning environment is the rapport between a teacher and his or her student. When the students understand that their teacher cares about them and wants them to do well, students feel comfortable asking questions, making mistakes, and taking risks in order to learn something new. Creating a classroom, community, and culture remain another necessary aspect when fostering a safe learning environment. Students need to understand what they have in common with their fellow learners in the classroom. So the third one is the management of classroom structure and activities. It refers to the wide variety of skills and techniques that teachers use to keep students organized, orderly, focused, attentive on task, and academically productive during class. So when classroom management strategies are executed effectively, teachers minimizes the behaviors that impede learning for both or individual students and groups of students, while maximizing the behaviors that facilitate or enhancing the learning. So that would be all. Thank you.
A pleasant morning, everyone. Today, I will discuss the challenges of a teacher in educating the world under PPTS, or the Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers of Domain 4, which is the curriculum planning. But first, what is curriculum planning? It refers to the creation of the curriculum, and the curriculum is the planned engagement of our learners. So, what is its purpose? The purpose of this is to ensure that all students experience quality education appropriate to their needs in this changing world. Its key focus is the enhancement of the students' learning. The Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers do have 5 strands under this domain. Number 1 is planning and management of teaching and learning process. So, as a teacher, you must be ready of your lesson plans and any educational materials that will help you on your lessons. Second is the learning outcomes aligned with learning competencies. This is where you assess your students if they learn about your discussions or not. And third, relevance and responsiveness of learning programs. So as a teacher, you must be responsible enough about the learning programs of your schools. Fourth is the professional collaboration to enrich teaching practice. It is where if you want to be respected, then do respect the people around you at the same time. Last is the teaching and learning resources. The teaching and learning resources must be or your resources must be must flow according to the curriculum guides or lessons so that the students will not be confused in their future reference. So that's for all today.
Domain 4, Curriculum and Planning, includes 5 strands. Number 1, Planning and Management of Teaching and Learning Process. Plan and design a more effective learning. Curriculum planning ensures that all students experience a quality education appropriate to the competencies of our ever-changing society. Education for all and no child left behind. Number 2, Learning outcomes align with learning competencies. Assessment should match up what the students have learned. Number 3, relevance and responsiveness of learning progress. Responsive learning environments adapt to the individual needs of each student and encourage learning by promoting collaboration. Learning environment should be structured to promote engaged teaching and learning. Lesson must be updated and allow the students to do their part. Number 4, professional collaboration to enrich teaching practice. Greatness takes time to develop. Working together for a common goal or purpose help us to build positive relationships and breaking bread together. Let us focus on students' learning progress while acknowledging diversity. Number 5, teaching and learning resources including ICT. Training is a key, for not everybody is well equipped. ICT serves as important tools to help teachers to create more learning-centric learning environment. ICT provides access to a wide range of up-to-date learning materials and enhances learning through interactions, since learning is a lifetime journey.
So hi, today we're gonna talk about the domain 4, which is the curriculum and planning. First is, what is curriculum? I think we all know that curriculum is a course offered by the school. The lesson and academic content. And planning is, from the root word plan, is or planning for something. So, domain 4 is addresses for teacher. And teacher expects to apply their knowledge towards to their students. Of course, applying your knowledge into your students needs a plan. So that plan will serve as your guidelines because you're facing a lot of students in 1 year. And that students have different personalities, attitude, and also culture. And you need to consider all of that differences. That's why you need to make a plan on how to deal with them without any consideration. A plan that makes your student makes as one. And it is a commitment to a particular course or course of actions believed necessary to achieve the desired result. A plan is also a primary concern with looking into your future. So, a teacher needs to have a plan before doing something. Everywhere needs a plan. I think that's it all. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we're going to tackle about the changes between National Competency-Based Teachers Standard and Professional Standard for Teachers in the Philippines.
My youth is yours, tripping on.
The Philippine Professional Standard for Teachers, or PPST, is used as a basis for all learning and development programs for teachers to ensure that educators are properly equipped. PPST is a basis of what teachers need to know, value, and be able to do in their practice.
Waterfalls, my youth.
While National Competency-Based Teacher Standards, or NCBTS, defined as an effective teaching as being able to help all types of students learn different learning goals in the curriculum. PPST consists of 7 domains, and one of those is the assessment and reporting.
My youth is yours.
Assessment is an opportunity for students to reflect their process and outcomes of learning. The purpose of assessment is to improve students' learning. While reporting is one of the type of assessment that a teacher can use to test the learnings of students because it determines the learning ability of students. Reporting assessment used to communicate what students know, understand, and can do. That's all for today. Thank you.
My youth is yours.
Okay, the difference between the National Competency-Based Teacher Standards and Philippine Professional Standards and Teachers is that National Competency-Based Teacher Standards focuses on the effectiveness of a teacher, whereas Philippine Professional Standards for Teachers focuses on the the development of the students. And then assessment and reporting domain is a combined support to students to achieve high standards and to provide the basis for guiding and further learning, as well as informing parents about their children's learning. Assessment refers to all the ways we gather information and progress in a student's learning.
Domain 6. Community linkages and professional engagement. Domain 6 affirms the role of teachers in establishing school-community partnerships aimed at enriching the learning environment as well as the community's engagement in the educative process. This domain expects teachers to identify and respond to opportunities that link teaching and learning in the classroom to the experiences, interests, and aspirations of the wider school community and other key stakeholders. It concerns the Domain 6. Community linkages and professional engagement. Domain 6 offers the role of teachers in establishing school-community partnership aimed at enriching the learning environment as well as the community engagement in the educative process. This domain expects teachers to identify and respond to opportunities that link teaching and learning in the classroom to the experiences, interests, and aspirations of the wider school community and other key stakeholders. It concerns the importance of teachers understanding and fulfilling their obligation in upholding professional.
Domain 6. Community linkages and professional engagement consist of 4 strands. 1. Establishment of learning environments that are responsive to community contexts. 2. Engagement of parents and the wider school community in the educative process. 3. Professional ethics. 4. School policies and procedures. The teachers needs to establish school community partnerships aimed at enriching the learning environment, as well as the community's engagement in the educative process. Identify and respond to opportunities that link teacher and learning in the classroom to the experiences, interests, and aspirations of the wider school community and the other key stakeholders. Understand and fulfill their obligations in upholding professional ethics, accountability, and transparency to promote professional and harmonious relationships with learners, parents, schools, and the wider community.
Hello everyone, so I'm going to discuss the seventh domain, which is the personal growth and professional development. So this domain emphasizes the ideal that teachers have, or the teachers value having a high personal regard, concern for professional development, and continuous improvement as teachers. And this domain also takes pride in the nobility of teaching as a profession. And there are key questions in this domain to be able, or for the teachers to be able to reflect on themselves, or to reflect how effective their way of teaching is. So the first one is, do my actions and statements indicate a high regard for the teaching profession and for my continuous development as a professional teacher? Second, can my colleagues see in my actions and statements how I value my profession as a teacher? And the third one, do I take systematic steps to ensure that I continuously improve myself as a professional teacher? And am I enthusiastic about my responsibilities as a teacher? And there are some performance indicators wherein we can see if the teacher met the effective way of teaching. The first one is when the teacher maintains stature and behavior that upholds the dignity of teaching. When the teacher allocates time and time for personal and professional developments through participation in educational seminars and workshops, and reading educational materials regularly, and engaging in educational research. The other one is when the teacher manifests its personal qualities such as enthusiasm, flexibility, and caring. And the fourth one is when the teacher articulates and demonstrates one's personal philosophy of teaching.
Hello and good morning everyone. I'm from Group 1. My name is Celestina Olino Butalib. I'm partnered with Miss Almira, and we were assigned with the seventh domain, which is personal growth and professional development. So it actually contains 5 strands, which are number 1, philosophy of teaching, the dignity of teaching as a profession, professional links with colleagues, professional reflection, and learning to improve practice, and professional development goals. So those are the 5 strands of the 7th domain. Let me start. This is just a very short discussion. So when we talk about, wait a second. So when we talk about the 7th domain, it actually focuses on teachers' personal growth and professional development. It accentuates the teacher's proper and high personal regard for the profession by maintaining qualities that uphold the dignity of teaching, such as caring attitude, respect, and integrity. So this domain values personal and professional reflection and learning to improve practice. It recognizes the importance of teachers assuming responsibility for personal growth and professional development for lifelong learning. So when we start with the first strand, which is philosophy of teaching, and the beginning teachers, for beginning teachers, it is about articulating a personal philosophy of teaching that is learner centered. So it's more on about articulating your beliefs. I don't really have one as of now since I'm still studying, but it's about living to your philosophy, or that's what they say for all. And then for proficient teachers, it actually is applies a personal philosophy of teaching that is learning. So it's different from articulating and actually applying it for your teaching that is learner centered. And for highly proficient teachers, it manifests a learner centered teaching philosophy in various aspects of practice and support colleagues in enhancing their own learner centered teaching philosophy. So when your philosophy actually manifests a learner centeredness, it should have the goal of enhancing your teaching skills, not only with yourself but also with your other colleagues. So for distinguished teachers, model a learner-centered teaching philosophy through teaching practices that stimulate colleagues to engage in further professional learning. So it's actually making or having your own personal model that practices stimulate colleagues to engage in further professional learning. So it's your philosophy should also encourage and inspire, because it says here stimulate colleagues to engage in further professional learning. So that's that. Your philosophy of teaching should also have an influence on your colleagues as a professional. So for strand number 2, dignity of teaching as a profession. So for beginning teachers, it demonstrates behaviors that uphold the dignity of teaching as a profession, like exhibiting qualities like the usual, like the caring attitude, respect, and integrity. So for proficient teachers, they will no longer just demonstrate it but adopt their practice in upholding the dignity of teaching. Because at first, when you're still beginning, you already have your own standard in your mind, so you're just trying to demonstrate it with yourself and also for your other colleagues to respect your dignity as a profession, because not everyone takes the teaching profession very seriously. So it's very important that aside from demonstrating your behavior, it's actually adopting your practice as a professional. So for highly proficient teachers, it identifies and utilizes the personal profession strengths that uphold the dignity of teaching as a profession to help build a positive teaching and learning culture within the school. So it's more on you already know you already you already are aware of your strength and are actually using it for the benefit of the school and also your colleagues. So for distinguished teachers, so it says here, act as a role model and advocate for upholding the dignity of teaching as a profession to build a positive teaching and learning culture within and beyond the school. So it's no longer just you're being professional and you have to be this kind of high morale person only in the campus, but you are actually already like a living, breathing professional. It's no longer just an act, but it should already be you. There is no need for like you're a different person when you're at home, just like that, things like that. Well, for me, I mean. And also for strand number 3, professional links with colleagues. So for beginning teachers, you should seek opportunities to establish personal links with colleagues. And for more proficient teachers, participate in professional networks to share knowledge and to enhance practice. And then for highly proficient teachers, contribute actively to professional networks within and between schools to improve knowledge and to enhance practice. So one of the examples for these is attending seminars, workshops, or even just a normal day-to-day exchange of your own knowledge and practice with your colleagues. So for distinguished teachers, take a leadership role in supporting colleagues' engagement with professional networks within and across schools to advance knowledge and practice in identified areas of need. So it actually depends on which area you focus as a professional. So let's say if you are a linguistics teacher, you network with others to improve yourself, but you also take a role as a leader if you are very well knowledgeable about the certain topic. So for the 4th strand is professional reflection and learning to improve practice. So as a beginning teacher, you should demonstrate an understanding of how professional reflection and reflection and learning can be used to improve. Let me go through that again. So in the 4th strand, as a beginning teacher, you should demonstrate an understanding of how professional reflection and learning can be used to improve practice. So just like the other strands, it's more on demonstrating, seeking, articulating most of what you understood or what kind of opportunities you mean to find later on in your profession. So for proficient teachers, you actually develop a personal professional involvement plan based on reflection of one's practice and ongoing professional learning. So it goes on. Your personal development as a professional will change from time to time as everything advances. Also for high proficient teachers, it initiates professional reflections and promote learning opportunities with colleagues to improve practice. So it's not about just developing, but initiating the professional reflection as a professional. When you talk about it more, there is room for improvement and growth. So you're actually having a reciprocal engagement with your colleagues in terms of professionalism. For distinguished teachers, it actually demonstrates leadership within and across school contexts in critically evaluating practice and setting clearly defined targets for professional development. So when you are a distinguished teacher, you have already not really mastered, but let's just give it an example that you've already mastered more on self-awareness as a professional and reflection and all of that. You also influence it on others that evaluate the the kind of professional development within your career. So for the fifth strand, which is professional development goals, it is demonstrate motivation to realize professional development goals based on the Philippine professional standards for teachers. So again, with demonstrating motivation. On the proficient teachers, it's setting professional development goals based on the Philippine professional standards. So it's you, aside from demonstrating, you are already setting it. You are already setting your goals. For highly proficient teachers, reflect on the Philippine professional standards for teachers to plan personal professional development goals and assist colleagues in planning and achieving their own goals. So aside from reflecting the Philippine professional standards, you are you should your goals should also include the development of your colleagues. You're actually adding it to your goals. Just what I've as I've said in the other strands and other level of teaching. It's more about influencing your work or your mindset of this kind of profession. And on the distinguished teachers, lead reforms in enhancing professional development programs based on an in-depth knowledge and understanding of the Philippine professional standards for teachers. So this is for the very experienced teachers that will lead these kind of reforms and in enhancing, because they are the ones that are constantly observing the quality of teaching and the standardization. They do constant research, uh, attend different kinds of seminars about what kind of standard that we should be living up to, or as I say, living up to as a professional in teaching. So that is a very big role already for a distinguished teacher in terms of the fifth strand, where it is the professional development goals. It's not only a goal only for yourself as a professional, but for every professional. So I guess those are the kind of topics that we have tackled for today. I would just like to say thank you so much for listening to our video, and I hope everyone understood. I'm sorry if I have missed certain points or have